Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of Charlie Brown Politics. And yes, I'm Charlie Brown, the host of the show. Let's talk about Piers Morgan a little bit. Now, he's been having a lot of interesting people come on his show and debate the topic that has been on everybody's minds for the past month or so, and that is Palestine and Israel. Now, he recently had Rabbi Schmuley on to debate Muhammad Hijab. If you don't know who those two people are, Rabbi Schmuley is, first off, he's RFK Jr.'s butt buddy. Second, he is what you would call the extremist version of Judaism. He's a Zionist. He's one of these people out there spilling a lot of propaganda on Israel's front, trying to cover up the horrific acts that have been taking place since October 7th. So, with that being said, I've got a bunch of clips that I want to go over from this interview. I want to go over, just the propaganda that Shmuley put out. I want to highlight some of the things that Muhammad pointed out. And it's overall just a pretty interesting interaction. It is a little hard to listen to because they argue so much and go back and forth. But we will get through this.
Actually condemned the settlements is very good, but people want to know, do you think the IDF are a terrorist organization?
No.
You don't think they're a terrorist organization? Okay, well, if you look at the UN definition of terrorist organization, they say killing civilians for political
gain. You're asking my opinion.
No, but if the UN definition, according to the UN definition, is killing civilians for political objectives. Why are they not terrorist organizations?
Well, you've asked me a straight question. I don't think they are a terror organization.
So when you see babies like this, the ones who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
It's horrific.
So the people who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
Well, let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond.
It's not your turn.
You can both get into this. Here's my response to that. And I've thought carefully about this. I've been very honest about my own feelings. I have a real moral quandary about this because as a father, I hate these scenes of kids being killed in Gaza. It's horrific, right? We all know it's horrific.
But are they a terrorist organisation, though?
I'm about to explain to you what I think my position is. My position is after what happened on October the 7th, it was so barbaric, so disgusting.
So you can kill children?
Well, no, what you can do...
That's exactly what terrorists say, by the way.
Let me answer your question.
This is not a debate. This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you. I thought we're being interviewed. Muhammad, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Muhammad, you can put it down.
Don't make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
All right, Rabbi Schmuley, let me answer.
Please have respect for the...
No. Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful. And be respectful.
Let me respond.
Tell me, is it a terrorist organisation or not?
No.
Why not?
I do not believe so.
They kill civilians for political objectives.
You have to let me answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my answer to that. When Hamas did what they did, two things. One, Hamas knew exactly what Israel's response would be. They knew they would come incredibly hard back.
I don't absolve them.
Wait a minute. I'm not absolving anybody.
I'm not absolving them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying the West Bank is West Hamas.
I know.
West Hamas.
You have to let me answer.
You've got 44 children killed like this in the West Bank.
This is ridiculous.
Wait a minute, Rabbi Schmuley. Let me just answer you quickly.
Go ahead.
I believe Israel has a right to defend itself from after that terror attack.
But can they kill children?
Wait a minute.
Can they?
Wait a minute. Particularly after the Hamas spokesman only last week said that they want to do this again and again and again. That's an existential threat to Israel.
Why don't they fight them man to man? Man to man. Fight them man to man. Why do you have to kill children?
Wait a minute.
Why do you have to
let me answer you, Muhammad.
Why?
Let me answer you.
Of a ratio of 100 to 1, by the way.
Let me answer you.
100 to 1 ratio.
Let me answer you.
Go ahead.
Okay, and so let me pause it real quick right there. And so that's kind of how the whole conversation goes. It's a lot of people yelling over each other. But I love the question that Muhammad is bringing up to Piers, because everybody that Piers Morgan has come on his show, he slaughters them with the question, do you think Hamas is a terrorist organization? Over and over he asks, do you think Hamas is a terrorist organization? And he tries to get people to say yes on his show. And my thoughts on that is, if you call Hamas a terrorist organization, you have to call Israel one as well. Okay, under international law, Israel is in the wrong. They're an occupying force. And under international law, if you have another country that is occupying your country, you have the right to take up arms against this country. So, and just like how someone else is trying to throw out there, is Israel also a terrorist organization? So we'll continue from there.
Otherwise, it's pointless.
Go ahead.
So, I agree that Israel must defend itself. I agree they have to get rid of Hamas because Hamas is wedded to an ideology of existentially removing Israel.
Is this acceptable?
Wait a minute. I'm coming to your answer.
Is this acceptable?
I'm coming to your answer.
This is not.
This is not even a conversation.
Wait a minute.
Listen, I came all the way from the United States for this debate.
Let me finish.
And he will not let anyone else speak. And if that's how these shows work, no. You are rude. You are a bully. You just are trying to interrupt people. I'm going to have a chance to speak, or there's no point in doing this show. He did this last time, and you allowed him to, but I won't allow him to because I will never be bullied by a bully.
At the moment,
let me be clear.
Wait a minute. No one's allowed.
Yeah, so Rabbi Schmuley literally just interrupted Piers nonstop to talk about how the other guy's interrupting him nonstop. Oh, man, that was great.
Allowing me to answer your question.
Go ahead, sir.
And it's this. I believe Israel has a right to defend itself.
Okay.
I agree that they need to get rid of Hamas.
Who
are terror groups.
In this way?
Well, here's the quandary for me morally, right?
Why is that a quandary, though?
I'll tell you why.
With Hamas, it's not a quandary,
I'll
but
tell
with
you
Israel,
why.
it's a quandary.
Because in war, when you declare war, as Britain did with the Nazis...
100-to-1 ratio.
No,
100
of course,
to 1.
There are
combatant to non-combatant ratio.
A far higher number of children in Gaza, proportionate to population, than almost anywhere in the world. So when they go after Hamas...
Give me a chance.
Very sadly... Mohammed, let me finish.
This is becoming ridiculous. No. You are the one who insisted on equal time. I never did, but you will not respect equal time.
I will come to you literally in 30 seconds.
He's going to ask you a question.
In 30 seconds, I'll come to you.
He's going to come to you afterwards.
Let me finish, please. I am in charge here, Mohammed. So my final point on this is, unfortunately, in war, civilians get killed.
100-to-1 ratio. 100-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
100-to-1 ratio.
Yes, they get killed.
No, not 100-to-1 ratio. It's an unacceptable ratio.
Civilians get killed.
Piers, listen.
Rabbi Schmuley, in you come.
You know, Piers, can I say respect?
All right, let's pause it for a second there. So Muhammad's talking about this 100-to-1 ratio, and he's talking this ratio that he's talking about is you kill one Hamas fighter for every 100 Palestinian civilians, and he's getting this number from the total amount of Palestinians killed since October 7th compared to the total amount of Hamas fighters killed. And he's saying it's about 101 when you reduce that fraction, which is a terrible ratio. It is an unacceptable ratio. I don't like Pierce's answer on this, on how he's justifying the just brutal, well, I don't want to say he's justifying it, but he in a way kind of is. I can't think of another word right now. Sorry if that's a little harsh on Pierce, but let's digress. You know, he's trying to hold one side accountable without holding the other side. We all know that this conflict did not start on October 7th, and now Israel is just using the excuse of we got to take out Hamas fighters, and it doesn't matter how many other lives get in the way to complete this objective. He also, I don't know if you guys caught it, Muhammad brought up the fact that in the West Bank, okay, there is no Hamas. There is no Hamas organization. That's only in Gaza. But in the year 2023 alone, 43 kids were killed by IDF in the West Bank. There is no Hamas. So what is the actual objective here? Is this truly about Hamas, or is Hamas just being used as an excuse for Israel to, you know, just do whatever they want indiscriminately? So let's skip forward a little bit here and watch the next part that I think is interesting.
He doesn't care that Hamas is an abomination to Islam because Islam.
But he hasn't done that.
The children in Gaza are dying because Hamas uses them as bulletproof vests.
Okay.
The United States and France and England said yesterday that the Al-Shifa hospital is a military base.
Okay.
It has a tiny veneer.
Let him have his minute.
It has a tiny veneer of emergency rooms.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
But underneath all of it is a military base.
You have a minute.
And let me tell you something. If it's true that any of these countries care about the Muslims in Gaza because they...
Okay, let's just pause it right there. So Rabbi Schmuley's argument is that Hamas is using these human shields using babies as bulletproof vests, that there is a Hamas military headquarters underneath the hospital. And he says that the U.S. And France are the sources and said that this is real. It's not like the U.S. Military industrial complex has ever lied to anybody. I don't think anybody remembers weapons of mass destruction or Assad gassed his own people or the fact that Putin blew up his own pipeline. All these were, of course, lies. And so I have another video from Kim Iverson where she's going to go over this exact topic of what Rabbi Schmuley was talking about. He was talking about this hospital and how the IDF just put out proof that there's this, Hamas headquarters underneath this hospital. And so let's go to Kim Iverson. She's going to completely debunk this. And yeah.
Israel says it knows with certainty. So this is where we're going to get into some of the claims, okay? Because Israel says it knows with certainty that there's a Hamas command center beneath Haifa. And they gave us this video. This is from Netanyahu. He tweeted this video out. His tweet says, Hamas ISIS is sick. So he's claiming that for one, Hamas is ISIS. By the way, Hamas fights ISIS inside of Gaza, but Hamas regularly goes after other terrorist cells inside of Gaza. But says Hamas ISIS is sick. They turn hospitals into headquarters for their terror. We just released intelligence proving it. Here's the video. And then watch this video. I mean, look at this. This is the proof. This is the type of stuff that people look at and they say, are you kidding me? I mean, how stupid do you think people are? You're showing us drawings. This is like a cartoon, illustrations. So now you're showing us the satellite imagery of Haifa Hospital. Okay, I see a hospital. I don't see any tunnels. I don't see any Hamas. Okay, there's the layout of the hospital. Oh, you're telling me in the red that there's a Hamas underground complex there without any evidence other, just telling me that's where they are. Okay, you could say these are anywhere. I mean, you could claim these are in my house for all this shows. So they're saying, oh, look this is the evidence. This is what Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, brings out as evidence. I mean, this is ridiculous. Anybody could make this up. Anybody could say, well, geez, the terrorist cells are just everywhere. I mean, if this is the standard of proof, how many people in America would love to use this as a standard of proof? Think about all of the leftists or the liberals over the last, since 2016, who would love to be able to say, we swear there are MAGA bunkers. There are MAGA bunkers all over the United States. We have proof. Here's the proof. And they do 3D drawings and they put red outlines on Google Maps. And they tell you, this is where the MAGA bunkers are. We have to go after them. We have to stop the terrorists. I mean, if this is the standard of evidence, we are in trouble because many people are going to be using it from here on out. If we believe this crap, we can't believe this. And we can't allow our government to believe it because they will use this against us.
Yes.
So even if you are watching this and you are super ultra pro-Israel, you cannot be okay with that as a standard of evidence because it.
All right. So there you have it. Kim Iverson just completely showing the outright ridiculous lies that Israel is trying to put out a computer model as being actual evidence and proof that Hamas had a headquarters underneath this hospital. And yes, I've seen the pictures of where they had like 12 AKs lined out and like 2 grenades and like a couple other pieces of equipment. And I don't think that amounts as much evidence either. Okay, so once again, thank God for Kim Iverson just completely dismantling that argument. Rabbi Schmuley once again goes on Piers Morgan and tries to put this as actual evidence. So let's go back to the Schmuley debate. And sorry, give me 1 second. We're going to fast forward. And there's another part in here that I want to take down because it's just another piece of propaganda that I just can't stand. So All right, without further ado.
If you do it, you'll be genocidal.
Genocide is where
you
target an ethnicity for extinction. Ethnicity side murder.
Yes, if you do it. If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal? If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal?
There are 1.8 million Muslim Arabs who live in total peace in Israel as equal citizens. In fact, Israel practiced reverse discrimination against the Jews because the Jews are conscripted to fight Hamas. So, if Israel, excuse me, no, you will not interrupt me. If Israel, you will not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me. You will not bully me. You will not interrupt me. I am not afraid of you. Stop saying the Jews tremble. Now, let me be clear. Let me be clear.
We're getting nowhere if you shout over each other.
Well, then you need to control your guests with all due respect. Okay, he said he said equal time, and there's no equal time. Now,
there's no equal time.
If Israel was interested in a genocide of the Palestinians, why do they have 1.8 million equal Arab Muslim citizens who are in the Israeli Supreme Court, who are 1/3 of the medical profession? Do you know that an Arab judge put the president of Israel in jail for accused rape? That was Moshe Katsav. That's how little Israel's an apartheid state, genocidal state. This man sitting next to me, Muhammad Hijab, will not distinguish between self-defense when Hamas comes to
All right, let's not let him go on for too much longer. So his argument is going to be that Israel cannot be an apartheid state because they allow 1.8 million Arabs to have citizenship throughout their country. Now, if you take this and you don't know a lot about this subject, you could be like, oh, okay, wow, they have Arabs as citizens. Okay, how could this be an apartheid country? Well, just take a step back and hear me out for just 1 second. That's like saying in the U.S., since Barack Obama was president, we no longer have a racist judicial system. We no longer have a racist penal system. We no longer have a racist structure throughout society. Now let that sink in for a second. And of course, no, the success of one individual in a minority group does not mean the success for a whole community for that minority group, if you catch what I'm saying. Okay, just because you have a Arab within the Senate of Israel does not mean that those Arab citizens of Israel have equal rights. Now, I have a couple articles that I want to pull up and just go over really quickly. That's going to kind of go along with what I just said about even though we've had a black president, it doesn't mean that we got rid of the racial structures within our system in America. So this is from Reuters. Arabs in Israel stay on sidelines of raging democracy battle. This was written in July 27, 2023. While Israel says it grants them equal rights, many Arabs say they face structural discrimination and hostile policies. A 2021 report by the Israel Democracy Institute found significant social and economic gaps between Jewish and Arab citizens, with poverty among Arabs more than 3 times higher. Arabs are mainly employed in low-income industrial jobs, the report said. They tend to live in overcrowded towns and villages with infrastructure deficiencies and poorer-funded schools. Okay, so that's just going more into, even though they do have Arab citizens, even people with, positions of power, they're still a very minority group, and the structures within Israel are designed to keep them in positions of, being in poverty, being in positions of where they don't have a lot of political power. Just like in America, how we keep, our minority groups packed up in small little towns in terrible jobs. We don't give them a lot of opportunity. You put a gun store and a liquor store in every corner in the hood, and what the fuck you expect? It's like Ice Cube said back in the day. I'm getting off topic, but you guys get the point that I'm trying to make. This is going to be from Arab News. Arab anger over Israel's racist marriage law. So this is going to go into just quickly, just one law that shows more discrimination among Arab citizens in Israel. Okay. Israel has renewed a temporary law dating back to 2003 that bars Israeli citizens from extending citizenship or even residency to Palestinian spouses from the occupied West Bank and Gaza. In a 40-15 vote, the Knesset passed in the second and third reading the citizenship law that makes it next to impossible for the reunification of families, even if one spouse is an Israeli citizen. Critics view it as a racist measure aimed at maintaining the country's Jewish majority. The law discriminates against Palestinians and does not apply to Jewish settlers in the West Bank, as they already have Israeli citizenship. And so this law was just a law that was passed to discriminate against people in the Gaza Strip, meaning that even if an Israeli citizen married somebody within the Gaza Strip, they could not get the extended rights that an Arab citizen would get comparatively to someone who lives in the Gaza Strip. So, yep, that's just another stack of evidence going against how Israel has these discriminatory laws that they want to claim, like America, everybody's equal and has a fair shot, but that is further from the truth. Israel is America's fucking stepchild, and believe me, Israel has been copying off of America is a lot, you know? I mean, look at what they're doing in Gaza, in the West Bank. They are colonizing them. They are pushing them off their land. It, of course, reminds everybody of what happened to the natives. And so I want to go back to the Schmuley debate. And at the end of this debate, Muhammad tells Piers Morgan his thoughts on why Israel is also a terrorist state. And this is going to be the last clip that we watch from this debate.
Do you personally, Muhammad Hijab, do you believe that the IDF and Hamas are both terror organizations?
I think yes. If you say yes to IDF, you should say yes to Hamas. If you say no to IDF,
I'm asking you what you
Hamas
believe.
is a terrorist organization.
What you believe.
If you say yes to IDF, you can say yes to Hamas.
I'm asking you what you believe.
Yes, I believe legally, according to the definition, if you say yes to Hamas, you can say yes to the IDF.
Piers, we could go on for the next.
We are going to the next.
But if you say no to the IDF, you can't say
it's fine. We're going to the next. We're going to the next block. But that's interesting.
But morally, I don't believe the category has any weight.
No, but you
morally, it has no designation.
But you have made your position clear, which is that you believe they're both terror organizations.
I believe that according to the law, absolutely.
Okay, and that's interesting to me. Okay,
but I have to say,
wait. Let's come to
when you call the IDF a terror organization, the IDF keeps 1.8 million Arabs alive in Israel.
100 to 1 ratio.
The Hamas, this is invention. It's a fabrication.
Let me move on to the last
Get more pictures out. It's unbelievable. This is how you lose a debate when you need to bring.
All right, and so let's stop it there. He's holding up a picture of a dead child to show, you know, the atrocities that are going on. And so I just wanted to show that clip because finally someone was able to vocalize why we should also be calling Israel a terrorist organization. If Israel and the U.S. aren't a terrorist organization, I don't know if one ever existed, you could say, you know. How many people have died from the U.S. drones? How many Palestinians have died over the past month from the bombs dropped upon hospitals and homes and refugee camps? It's just terrible. So I just really like the point that, you know, if we're going to call Hamas a terrorist organization, we need to be calling the IDF in Israel a terrorist organization as well. So, with that being said, guys, what are your thoughts on Rabbi Schmuley melting down on Piers Morgan, projecting, he projected so much throughout the whole interview. Go watch the whole thing, be prepared because, it's a lot of bickering back and forth with each other, but I kind of liked Muhammad's argument style. I like the ratio he brought up. It's a beautiful argument. I like the fact that he brought up you can't call one a terrorist without calling the other a terrorist. So yeah, let's conclude this video, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you on the next episode of Charlie Brown Politics. Later, guys.